Hello, my name's Eleanor Pearce. I'm an artist, educator, curator and community arts practitioner based in Forest Gate, East London. Today is the 9th of November 2024. So when it comes to my own practice, I work with drawing as my principal means of expression. And over the years, I've done quite a few other things. Certainly earlier in my career, there was a big emphasis on performance art and installation, video. And that is something that is still in the work, but usually it's performance for camera. So I work mainly with pencil, sometimes pastels, and I really like a direct contact with the surface and the kind of energy that can transfer. I was brought up in North London in Crouch End. Both of my parents are primary school teachers and my father is a painter. And at the time, that part of North London, there were quite a few artists and writers and journalists around. I think it's gentrified a lot more in recent years, but certainly early on there was a really interesting environment for creatives. And something that's influenced me has definitely been my parents as kind of community contributors through their role in primary schools. That's something that was always spoken about, supporting young people, and making that kind of contribution, in my mind, goes hand in hand with an artistic and creative life. So it's definitely something I've gone into later on in life, not only having my own art practice, but an equal balance of teaching and supporting other artists. The cultural landscape when I was growing up was rich with myth and storytelling. My father had an extensive collection of books containing mystical texts from across the globe, alongside books by Carl Jung and William Blake. When it came to bedtime stories, it was Arthurian legends, Greek myths, and fairy stories. In terms of the influences on my work, they're quite traditional. I've always visited the National Gallery in London and the British Museum with sketchbooks, and really drawn on those collections. I love the drawings by the Pre-Raphaelites and Leonardo and Michelangelo. I love the drama within the figure compositions of Rubens, and also the stark truth portrayed in the portraiture of Rembrandt. When embarking on a new drawing, I like to approach the paper with curiosity and an open mind. And more often than not, I will base the drawing in observation. So that could be a portrait, the life room, or perhaps some photography. And this will be where the drawing begins, but I'll be looking out for departure points within the process. And I always want to be open to following those and to end up somewhere that I would never have imagined that it would become. And in a certain respect, this is about opening up to unknown forces, be they the unconscious or something else, something a bit more mysterious communicating through me. I believe that when you open yourself up in the creative moment and you reach a sense of flow, you're a channel for something, and it comes away from that thinking mind and more to an intuitive journey. I would never want to pin down the meaning of a drawing for anyone, and I like to think of the imagery I make as completely open for interpretation, as you might interpret a dream. So some of it has a surreal feeling to it, in the way that I might combine figures or faces. There's something there that's beyond the rational. I think the biggest challenge being an artist is having the self-confidence to put yourself out there. and really believing in your self-worth and that you have something valuable to contribute. And if those things are an issue for you, it can take years to overcome. I think I've always been more comfortable with supporting and promoting other artists through my community practice. But when I do focus on my own vision and people respond, it's just so enriching, and I find that it feeds all other aspects of your life. I do have to acknowledge also that finances are one of the main challenges, because you almost feel like you have to pay for the privilege of being an artist because the costs are such that you just plough so much money into it. So most of us have to support what we do with other lines of work, and I just feel really lucky that I've been able to do that within the artistic field. At the moment, I'm focusing on an incubatory period, if you like, of kind of pulling back from showing work, but developing my drawing skills. I think it's really important to do throughout your career is just to keep learning all the time and to keep pushing the boundaries of what you can do and achieve with the mediums that you're using. I think if I could give my younger self some advice, it would simply be to have a bit more confidence in my own talents and abilities and to take the opportunities when they were offered. I tend to listen to quite a variety of music when I'm making work, so it could be anything from acoustic guitar to opera to Kate Bush or disco. And there's a couple of podcasts that I have on the go at the moment: This Jungian Life and The Emerald, which offer quite a lot of food for thought. A response to my work that I really enjoyed recently was when Newham Poetry Group came to do a workshop in the gallery as part of my most recent solo exhibition in Stratford. It was just really fascinating to hear a range of imaginative responses from the poets who attended, and some of them really quite unexpected. And I just found it really enriching to get that kind of feedback in a structured session. And it certainly made me think about directions for my own work going forward. I hope that my work is memorable and that when people leave, something about it stays with them. And I would also really hope that it inspires a sense of curiosity.